As those of you that come regularly to Poetryspective will be aware, I always choose two poems to start the open section with and to get the gig moving. So today I'm sitting under the fig gig tree for Poetry Story Time with literary creatures, artwork by Raphael Torreson. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Our first poem is by Kevin Brophy and it's called A Knot of Toads. Toad Ode. Oh toad, you squashable toad, toad, you gorged god, green with the poison dreams of eating your children. Oh toad, you kickable toad, toad, you heaving toad, you are coming by, leaping at last, like us, killing everything in your path. And here is the artwork by Raphael Torreson. Isn't that lovely? And the second poem that I have chosen to kick off this feed with is also from the same book, and it is a piece by Geordie Alberson. Gee, turn the page. Oh, or if I do an ad apparatum, that will work too. And with an ad apparatum, I find a rumble of wombats. Yes, there it is, A Rumble of Wombats by Eric Beach. And there are two short pieces here. The first one, Wombats Wooing. He lumbers after her in a great circle. They hold firm like buttresses. Arc night to hold up vaulting desire. She pauses, he pauses. Crescent handle reels them in shouldering. A far range in roundabout ritual. Eyes side of her head. She centres, no neck between earth and sky. Found and found, blocking in hill and cave and beast and love. And the second one is called Forgive His Affair. Forgive his affair. Her new kitchen gleams like an apology. New windows, she can see down to the creek. They've cleared the blackberries now. Wombats can't rid themselves of ticks and die. She recalls big claws unravelling wool, his golden head seeking her armpit. Then he trundles into the afterglow of New Year's Eve to be de-ticked. She pushes his broad head across her floor in their old game. When she wakes, great runes through paraquet. And now, moving on to the open section.
Thank you, Lish, for inviting me to read. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm sending this out from a Wurundjeri land, stolen land, unceded land, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and into the future. I'd like to read 3 poems, 2 from my book, Pass It Along, and 1 from Andy Jackson. This is called The Way It Goes. We'll be watching a man extracting a pram from a hatchback in a car park, his plastic bag catching and strewing apples to a certain bruise, and you will say, why would anybody want to have a baby these days? The ice is melting and the sea's waiting to pounce. War makers, madmen in every ounce of news, mushroom clouds on the edges of our dreaming, and the poisons we eat and dress up as food, and the noise and the noise and the noise and the petrol fumes, and the how hard you have to work for a deadlocked door and a simple roof, and the how many ways a child could die, and how wide that hole would be to carry. Why would anybody want to have a baby? And I will say, but just wait till you've held one. They reach out and they touch your cheek as if to say, it's all right. I've got you. From the extremely young to the old. This one's called The Dancers. It was written after burns units that they had after the war, where the hospitals and the villages would organise dances to get the injured soldiers and the local women to meet. The Dancers. Grandma married a man from the Dancers, all paid for by the hospital. A girl of 18 in a village deplete of men, save for accounts of heroic deeds and stilted typeset eulogies. Photographers would always carefully position his hat. And I wondered about their first kiss, before curfew and the band, quite underpaid and pissed, had ducked under the last drape of fog, and she was alone, with his stiff gauze hands and his mouth of borrowed skin, knowing the touch, trying to remember the feeling. And this one's from Andy Jackson's book, The Thin Bridge. It's called Reaching and Leaning, written in Muir Woods, California. Soon enough, I leave the boardwalk for a path described as difficult and steep, not for the challenge, but the air my bones need. It's as busy as the main path, so I slow down, let the Americans pass me by while they shout small talk at each other through the ancient woods. The dust we all kick up is a fine mist at the canopy. A dense stand of century-old redwoods, the young, keen among the giants. It's the dead I most admire, and the small timid birds in the undergrowth. Standing still and writing this, the voices carry, all the voices in my head, reaching and leaning into light, this desire that shares something with the wood, the sap, the fingertip seed. I place my palm against a sapling, leave a trace. Thank you.
Oh, Geoffrey, what's that you have in your hand there, boy? Pass it over. Oh, a telegram. Oh dear. It appears somebody has been biting me. Fetch me my trousers at once. No, not those. Those are my time travel trousers. Those are my tea trousers. Yep, those ones. My fighting trousers. Dear Sir, regarding your recent foray into the rat business and the scene you portray, see, I don't normally approve of war games, but he's biting you is what they all say. And by Harry, they might be right. This is hip-hop, not an Elvis night. Shelve this professor impersonation. Let it end now, it's impertinent waiting. You seem a reasonable chap. What you need to do is rap and not parody chap-hop. That's not proper. It's just not cricket. Put away your ukulele or I'll tell you where to stick it. I don't like your tweed, sir. Will teach you the professor's ready. Not. Let's see who strikes the loudest. Lose. Put on my fighting trousers. I've got super producers and fans who play me. You've got a granddad's moustache and a ukulele. Don't look around, sir. I'm talking to you. Roll up your shirt sleeves. Queensberry rules. Never test professors with the cleverest wits. They settle this like gentlemen, armed with heavy sticks, on a rotating plate with spikes like Flash Gordon. And you're Peter Duncan. I gave you fair warning. When this George Formby clone is performing, audiences go home before he starts talking. A new career might be more rewarding. I'm a bright Brighton peer. Your rap's Piers Morgan. I don't like your tweed, sir. Will teach you the professor's ready. Not, let's see who strikes the loudest. Lose, put on my fighting trousers. I'm not seeing you at ciphers or workshop with kids or gigs. Dear sir, you're not worthy of this. Sold out to Coca-Cola, used for a trend. And that means you're banned from using a pen. Hope it's safe to assume you won't do this again. Set foot on my stage and get ruined again. Be out, Mr. B. I've set the egg timer. There's not room in town for two gentlemen rhymers. Leave town by the end of this instrumental. Yours, etc., etc., sincerely, and so forth, Professor Elemental. I don't like your tweed, sir. Will teach you the professor's ready. Not, let's see who strikes the loudest. Lose, put on my fighting trousers. Oh, gosh, it gets my goat. Really gets my dander up. Yeah. Hey, Geoffrey, enough of that. No drum solo. This is supposed to be a diss song.
Ah, look at that, Geoffrey. Another fine day shining down on God's sweet Britain. Land of lemon curd and crumble, an opportunity. God, I love it. I begin every sentence with an apology. Sorry that's the case, that's just British policy. Probably the case with everything. In honesty, I use 10 words when 2 will do. Honestly, I'm British. And that makes me unique. At least I think so when I hear you speak. You see, we used to have an empire, but we got a little cocky, like, ha, Johnny Foreigner. I'd like to see you stop me. And sure enough, we rhubarb crumbled. Now in every town all the drunk teens stumble. I'm rather glad, really. It made us more humble. Come on, ask me where I'm from, dear boy. I won't mumble, I'm British. I don't want to be fantastic, just adequate. And if I'm nice, it's probably sarcastic. Ridiculously cynical, that's what we're like. If you can't take a joke, get on your bike. I'm British. Like a clotted cream tea, apologetic Morris dancer, then you must mean me. I'm British. Like the wickets in cricket, like crikey, blimey, nice one, wicked, I'm British. As a fat dame in a panto, like Woodhouse, Orwell, Wells and Co. So if you're down with the Brits, then put your hands in the air. But if you'd rather not, that's fine. We're ever so nice to our pets. And we know not to work too hard. We're inventive, accepting, eccentric, and yes, I suppose we're a bit bizarre. But if you delight in celebrities taken down just because of the way they live, or you can feel bleak joy in a seaside town as the rain pours down on your chips, or you can drink 10 pints of Adnams without ever breaking your stride, or repress your emotions and passions and bury them deep inside, then I've kept a room in a cramped B&B with a TV that only shows BBC Two, and I have the keys right here. I've been keeping them just for you. I'm British as Williams, James, Hattie Jakes, school dinners, roast dinners, massive cakes. I'm British as a chimney sweep, chim chim cheree, or a professor in a pith accompanied by chimpanzees. So if you're down with the Brits, then make some noise. But if you'd rather not, that's fine, actually. I really don't want to make too much of a fuss. Well, at this point, I'd really like to apologise on behalf of Britain for all the things that we've brought to the world. Simon Cowell, for example, fox hunting, racism, black pudding, but most of all, Australia. We'd really, really like to apologise for Tony Abbott.
Hi everyone, here's another poem for the open mic on Poetryspective tonight. This one is called This Body Too. I sat on the floor while day slowed to night. I read a book, cross-legged on the red cushion. I looked at a star through binoculars and saw that stars are not static. It was a white swirling light, circling in on itself again and again. Kind of a miracle for a thing to look like itself and also not. The pins and needles in my feet, the bone ache in my neck where it curved over the book, the hot thoughts chasing my nighttime mind, circling in on itself again and again. Kind of a terror how we can be one person but also another. I had to find stillness to remember who I was, that this body too has beginning in its end. Stars are burning up, aren't they? Dying while we watch. What a glorious destruction to behold. Hi everyone, here is my poem for tonight's Poetryspective open mic. It's called Still Beating. Black clump on the footpath, could be an abandoned sock. But it shudders, wings flap, rises to spindle red legs, barrels over, collapses. Father's Day, September, Little Burke Street chill wind. We dance awkwardly, Bob in the gentle wake of her news. I'm moving to LA, between finger licks of chili salsa. The bird heaves again, tumbles onto the road. He stops traffic, I shepherd the bird to the curb. A guy gets out of his car, swoops in. I've owned hundreds of birds. It's cold, feel it shivering. Find a vet in Clifton Hill and call. Yes, you can bring it here. She shimmies out of her t-shirt to wrap the trembling thing. When we met, she was 9. My tongue had to find new language, an effort to learn over slow years. Hold the small body, heartbeat, quick step. Later I remember all I could hear was its fluttering breath. No cry, no call. Oh, poor thing, yes, it's in a bad way, and just a fledgling too. The vain hope that they'll tend the wounds, nurture to recovery. You know they just put them down. Wait to collect her t-shirt. Wash and fold it. It's better, the vet says, than dying out on the street. The warm pulse stays in my hands for days. Hi everyone, this poem is by Adrienne Rich from her collection Tonight No Poetry Will Serve, and the poem is called Waiting for Rain for Music. Burn me some music, send my roots rain. I'm swept dry from inside, hard winds rack my core. A struggle at the roots of the mind. Whoever said it would go on and on like this? Strap hanger swaying inside a runaway car, palming a notebook scribbled in contraband calligraphy, against the war poetry wages against itself. Once under a shed's eaves, thunder drumming membrane of afternoon, electric scissors slitting the air, thick drops spattering few and far, we could smell it then a long way off. But where's the rain coming to soak this soil? Burn me some music. There's a tune, Neglect of Sorrow. I've heard it hummed or strummed my whole life long in many a corridor, waiting for tomorrow, long after tomorrow should have come. On many an ear it should have fallen, but the bands were playing so loud.
Richly deserve. It's the only disease I don't have yet. Got all the others. It's a little known fact that out at sea, most of us pirates don't get a lot of pussy. Apart from the ship's cat. The occasional parrot. And of course, the cabin boy. When we can catch him. Bastard. Yes, we have to make do with what we can find. Preferably something with a perky behind. Like you, young fella. Yes. Preferably something with a perky behind. Oh, yes. But better than boys and parrots and cats are what lurks deep down, deep in the bowels of the ship. Me giant bilge rats. Oh, and they grow very large indeed. In fact, they make a most handsome steed. But I prefer the dead ones. They're easier. Oh, I even have my own exclusive dead rat. And I keep her I keep her hidden in the pickled cabbage vat on the end of a rope. And when me crew are all busy, all distracted with a chore that's tricky, I pull out me rat and give her a quickie. And Carrie say, I even have a name for me rat. I've christened her. Yes, as soon as I saw her, I gave her the perfect name for any rat. I christened her Nora. Arr, Nora, me darling. Me loins tremble at the sound of your name. What comes after that? Oh yes. But sometimes, if I forget to stick the cork back in her ass, Nora swells up with buoyant cabbage gas. Now, if I then stick the cork in real soon, Nora doubles as a reconnaissance balloon. When me enemies spy her, it makes them all swoon. All I have to do is grab onto the rope and oop I go. And I pray to me God that the cork don't blow, because if her cork pops out, there'll be a ghastly rancid surprise, and I'll be propelled to me death all over the skies. Clap, you bastard! Give me the clap I deserve!
Okay. So this piece is called A Dream Forgotten. It started here, or there, I think. I know. I knew. I'm forgetting. Letting the letters slip through the still-stitched seams of memory upon waking. The lighter density of dreams makes them seem like reality. Oil floating to the top of water. It was water. No. An endless maple syrup sea, but at the time, I didn't question the absurdity. To my left, there was a man with tree bark for pants, a sort of augmented cyborg who had razor blades for hands with a finger raised, proclaiming, "Now this is cutting-edge technology." In hindsight, I question it as a form of social commentary. Who else could populate our dreams if not we, projected as unexpected avatars overhead? A flock of books traverse the effusive purple sky, squawking the last lines of half-read novels as an inconclusive overture. You see here, in my dream, the wind moves as music, repeating the slightly off-tune melody of a song I once knew, caught on the tip of my tongue a moment before forgetting it, or letting it be heard. The wind often shuffles from hypnotic siren song to ominous banshee scream, dependent on the humidity. It is often temperate, which may come as a surprise due to the fact that the dream realm itself lies adjacent to hell, explaining the relationship between sleep and death and the bleeding through of nightmares. I was walking, unsure of my destination, lumbering along like an undead sprinter, with that gnawing sensation that I too was running late. All clocks moved counterclockwise in a stubborn protest demanding universal punctuality. Minutes became eternity, seconds lasted seasons, hours were gratuitously given back to us as their name states. I think I was looking for my namesake. Tabani means be happy, so perhaps I was simply seeking joy, a concept misplaced in the dominion of flesh and bones, so I suppose it makes sense to be found in the dreaming, and melt away on the vorpal blade of alarm clock cries. Dreams often lie to tell the truth. What strange fiction, I think. I know. I knew. And there it goes. Thanks.
So, I hope you're all having a fine time tonight here at Poetryspective Online. It's time for our first feature. As you can see, I've donned a flower just for the occasion. Tonight we have Caroline J. Corr. Now, the first time I saw Caroline, she came to Poetryspective and I thought she was very quiet and a little bit withdrawn. She put her name down in the open section and then I introduced her. And when she got up on stage, she started playing her bodhran and then she started speaking. Her voice was so lyrical and her bodhran was so wonderful. The room just fell silent and you could hear a feather fall. And I knew in that moment that I just had to feature her. So you are in for a real treat tonight. She is very, very talented. And here are a few words about the woman herself. Caroline began her music career in Melbourne 2011 with the formation of indie pop trio Devil Tulip. Since then, she has played various shows in Victoria, and I have heard from the Corrs themselves that she has played guitar with them live on stage, and I noticed that this was left out of her bio. Tusk, tusk. Okay, now stepping out on her own, infusing music from her mysterious Irish roots with pop rock, her skills are varied and well cooked. She is a bodhran player, singer, a lead guitarist, and I might add, a pretty fine poet because I have heard her myself. This is Caroline J. Corr.
Well, Adam did. Caroline Jane Corr, a scrivener actor, Arnwell, a baron. A simple structure there, a wooden rim stretched with goat skin around it. Tacked like you find pretty much everything in Ireland. It's played with a stick, double end triplets to play in the trees, an airfocal, an Irish word for deaf or dull sounding, which actually soothes like a heartbeat from the distant past. A piece of bleeding goatskin wrapped around a wooden frame, you ask, let me play it for you. The baron, heartbeat, McCroy Bullion, keeping our aspraga in nostalgia. Inspiration in this world. For a moment, time stands still like a song on the radio that never leaves the mind. Fuck Stonehenge, who built a fucking labyrinth of stone, when a drum from the Emerald Isle has marked so many seasons in joyous, raucous-like parties. Party like it's Ella's Island, 1892. Or one adult a tray a curry, one adult a tray a curry, one adult a tray a curry, one adult a tray a curry. You're searching for a man unforgiven, but not forgotten. You're given, not forgotten. You're given, not forgotten. No. You're given, not forgotten. 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 You're given, yeah, not forgotten. You're not forgotten. No, you're not forgotten. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. We'll take it easy, right? Breezy, yeah. We'll leave you justified and dirty, yeah. We're caught in a haze on these lazy summer days. Spending all of our nights laughing, kissing, yeah. And it really doesn't matter if we don't eat. And it really doesn't matter if we never sleep. It really doesn't matter. Really doesn't
Welcome everyone to the digital edition of Poetryspective. Thanks to Lish and to Colin for putting this together so quickly. It's great that we can still have poetry with us at this time. Thank you to the features appearing tonight. Thank you to everyone that put together a video for inclusion. Thank you to all the people watching and supporting. It's great that we can have poetry around us during this time. We're doing it for the drag queens as well, and the musicians at Pride as well. We're going to try and keep the art in front of everybody and keep everyone entertained. So I'm Matt O'Keefe. I'm doing a poem tonight by one of my favourite poets, Konstantin P. Kafafe, Greek poet. This poem was published in 1911. It's called The God Abandons Antony. And it's about dealing with reality, I think, and I interpret it as facing up to loss with bravely. When suddenly, at midnight, you hear an invisible procession going by with exquisite music, voices, don't mourn your luck that's failing now. Work gone wrong, your plans all proving deceptive. Don't mourn them uselessly. As one long prepared and graced with courage, say goodbye to her, the Alexandria that is leaving. But above all, don't fool yourself. Don't say it was a dream, that your ears deceived you. Don't degrade yourself with empty hopes like these. As one long prepared and graced with courage, as is right for you, who proved worthy of this kind of city, go firmly to the window and listen with deep emotion, but not with the whining, the pleas of a coward. Listen, your final delectation, to the voices, to the exquisite music of that strange procession, and say goodbye to her, to the Alexandria you are losing. Thank you.
Now it's time for our second feature, Denise Chapman. As you can see, I have donned my top hat for the occasion. Denise's words bloom from the heart and the soul. She writes through pain and suffering, joy, love, and happiness. And I'm truly honoured to be featuring her tonight. And here are some words I have about the woman herself. Denise Chapman is a passionate storyteller, spoken word artist, and digital media creator whose obsession with Afrofuturistic pop culture, Nutella, Gullah Geechee folktales, and children's picture books fuel her squirrely happy chappiness. She is known for using poetry, oral stories, children's literature, film, pop culture, fabric quilting, call and response storytelling, and interactive digital content, as well as windows and spaces for critical activism. Denise has been a repeat guest on ABC Radio National, second place winner of Poetryspective 29 Retro Slam, and she has also presented her artistic work at the Wheelers Centre Broadside, Melbourne's Emerging Writers Festival, University of Melbourne's Digital Studio, Melbourne Spoken Word Poetry Festival, RMIT's Present Tense Non-Fiction Lab, the Footscray Community Arts Centre, West Writers Forum, What is African Poetics, as well as community reading rooms, Black Tourmaline. When she is not tweeting or debating with her kids, she enjoys smiling and playing the role of super joyful audience member at spoken word gigs and conferences around Melbourne and Wakanda. And I am telling you, you are in for a real treat. This is Denise Chapman.
Oh my goodness, Leash! I am so excited about this, and we're at home, Leash. Wait, we're not at Poetryspectives, but this is Poetryspectives, isn't it?
It is. Look at the wall.
Oh, joy!
Baby.
Yes,
Poetryspective.
Poetryspective.
So many posters.
And so we're hanging out at home because of all the stuff that's going on in the world. And but I wanted to really say thank you for the beautiful introduction. I listened to it and it was like, oh, she's so sweet. And I just want to say really, really genuinely thank you, because I'm really grateful for just the chance to be able to share my heart. And I'm really, really grateful and thankful for Colin for putting this up online, and really about the Poetryspective Collective. This is my poem entitled Blurred, and it's about my transition here from the US to Australia, and how difficult that transition was, and how I really had to tap into, I think, poetry, but also my ancestors, to be able to heal my heart. So it's entitled Blurred. I sat in the airline seat. I sat in the seat closest to the window. I sat on the airline's plane, stared out the window, watched the blurred ground as my eyes tried to follow the left behind scaly and rusted cement. As my eyes blurred, my vision blurred, filled with the rush of the last bits of what was the land of my people. My people were brought to, stolen from one land, brought to this land that I am now voluntarily leaving. My mind spins and thinking, was this like the blurred ground that my grandfather ran, that Georgian red earth that his feet pounded? Did the earth blur for him? Did his eyes fill with water as ground blurred? Did he have that feeling of flying as he ran down that dirt road, running from those young men trying to lynch him for fun? Did his mind spin, or did he think of his ancestors like I am now? Did our people fly like Virginia Hamilton exclaimed? Or was their vision just blurred? So that's Blurred. Oh, Leash, I love your expression.
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful, Denise.
I'm going to take a sip of drink, and then I think I want to share something. This one was one, I don't know if you went to this workshop, but it was a workshop with the Melbourne Spoken Word and Poetry Festival, and they had all these cool workshops. And I went to this one, and I wrote this piece, and it's entitled Time, because, oh Lord, Leash, I feel like I need time. I need to hold on to it, and it keeps getting away from me. Like even doing this right now, I'm thinking of time. Okay, so time. Here it goes. Time. I ain't got time. Time. Where is time? Where'd you go, time? Time hides from me, slides from me. I ain't got time. You under my shoe? I hear you ticking, time bomb bobbing, taking up room. I feel you, but I can't see you. Time, get yourself back here. It's time now. I ain't got time. Time for you to be playing with me right now. I need a little sip of you. You need to stand still, time. Throw yourself on the fire so I can feel you, smell you, hear you, crackling time.
That's great.
Oh, I like that one. It's kind of funny because I'm like,
what's up, girl?
Okay, girl. Now this one is, I guess, the next one that I'm going to do, and it is a poem that's not mine, but it's someone else's. His name is Chris Calderly, and it's from a book entitled "Out of Wander." And I think in the spirit of Poetryspectives and sharing not just your own poetry, but weaving in poetry of other people. And I came across this one. I love it. And it's entitled Snapshots by Chris Calderly, and it's celebrating Nikki Giovanni, who I love. Okay, so you tell me if you like this one. Here we go. Snapshots. People forget. Poetry is not just words on a page. It is the snowflakes on your tongue, the tattoo on the inside of your arm, a dashiki and caftan tripping down the streets of Lincoln Heights, that's in New York, shouting from the hills of Knoxville, Tennessee. Poetry is barbecue, cotton candy, girl. Purple skin beats from daddy's garden, blues, Birds Land Jazz Club, Sunday morning gospel. Chasing justice, freedom. Poetry is remembering the things that matter, the ones you love, when night comes softly like ripples on a pond. I love that.
Damn!
Oh my gosh. So it's a really cool sort of a take on Nikki Giovanni's work, but it's in celebration of her. So now I'm gonna move on to this next piece, and it's entitled Closed. And this one, girlfriend, is for you because you saw it online, and I posted it on, and then I saw a typo after. I was like, oh Lord, there's a typo on Twitter. No, but but
I was there in my head anyway, so I didn't realize until later.
Later, you saw it, because it was staring at me. It's like, hello, there's a typo. Anyway, so this one is entitled Closed, and it was after I saw that they closed the borders of Australia, basically, and I was thinking about my parents, and they're in their mid-70s, and their 50th anniversary is in August, and we were due to go out there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yeah, we may not be able to. So this is entitled Closed. My heart, those liminal threads stitched to my ancestors, is feeling crimped, dull, shadowed, as I stand on fevered ground girt by sea, now closed for safety. Am I of people who could fly? But now my threads flap in beached wind, hanging from a branch, anxious eyes looking northeast. I just, yeah.
Oh, you read that so well. Yeah. I'm loving this, by the way. It's like my own private, I'm loving
it. I'm a private poet. Or something.
Oh, you are
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, oh look, girl, they're gonna think we're okay. Anyway, we better move on. Okay, I think, given that one was a sad one, I think I'd like to talk about something that's joyful. And this poem is entitled Soul Stitching, because you're a crafter.
Oh, yeah.
And I love crafting. And this one is, this one's about when girlfriends get together and that feeling that we get, okay? And there's something about that feeling. Okay, so this one's entitled Soul Stitching. That feeling, that threading, that weaving, that stitching, non-bitching, collaborative flow. You seeing decedent of grin and giving, transforming, heartwarming, that black female glow. That being, that diasporic seeing, that dancing, spirits prancing, affirming power at show. Amalgamating, our souls radiating, blackness blooming, collective creating. It's amazing. All together, we grow. You know, it's that feeling. You know, that's that feeling. Now, I don't know about you, Leash, but there are moments in the morning that I look really tired. I look really, really tired. And this is a very short one. I think we all get that, right? That tired feeling. And so this is entitled Tired Eyes. Sun shines, knife tries to slice clotted clouds, freeing cool pools of healing blues to replenish morning's tired eyes. And this is a poem about someone who, Leash, I think as women, we find ourselves being objects, you know, that people think, you know, we could be touched, you know, and it's not the case. And this was a really, it was a challenging time, but anyway, he said, I just gotta touch it. Gotta touch it. Can't help myself. Touch it. Dear God, no. This man who signs my activities, my responsibilities, my PD. Oh shit, no. Doesn't he know that this is my crown? Treating me like the man on the sardine-packed commuter train, the one who near the cafe window pane and the... Why? Why? Doesn't he know that it's not right? Oh, that's right. I'm just a woman. No, lower. I'm just a black woman. No, lower. Yeah, I'm just a black woman with, you know, who says garbage, not rubbish, jello, not jelly, bathroom, not toilet or loo. Where's your Milo? And don't you want some mayo? And do you really carry around hot sauce in your bag called slap your mama slap? I wish I could have stopped him. My mask, is it on tight? Right? Is it on straight? Not nappy? Grins? Not lies? My tap dancing academic mask? 'Cause y'all's a no. I can tap dance. That was tough to do.
Thank you. Thank you. That was so vulnerable and powerful. And thank you.
Okay, Leash, we've been having too much fun because we keep stopping the video and then going and then stopping the video. Okay, now this one is one that I've got two more. And this one is fairly new, and I feel like I've got to warm up my vocal cords for it. And this one, it's entitled If You Please. Okay, and it's If you please. Your thoughts, if you please, 'cause I's just a seed. What you think about a person who coils and weaves, who builds their art, their nest, their fees round, tightly around decolonization, a black feminist reputation, but calls her sisters not black enough? Well, girl, when I walk down the streets of Torak and Q and even Frankston South, I certainly am black enough. My eyes still see the spit that said, I'm black enough. My body still feels the petting that noted I'm black enough. And hey, this ain't no competition, ain't no tall poppy going on. We be crabs in a bucket, girl, sun's beaming down where we dwell. Wake up before we're all boiled in our shell. Why do I have to remind you, well, that the difference between you and me is just 100 meters, that my ancestors were named slave, not keepers, that I am Africa displaced, a sister from another face, or with another face, yearning Mother Africa's embrace. We need to work as we's, not as me's, if you please. So anyway.
Yeah, you tell us, girl. That's
Okay.
That
That one was that I really like that one, and it's quite close to me. Okay, so
Mother Africa's embrace. Just fierce click. No, that's good. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna end with this one, and this one is if I can find it here. Oh, there it is. This one is the first poem that I ever wrote, and I wrote it here, and it was after doing a workshop. I think it was at the Wheeler Center, and a poetry workshop, and and it was the first point that I tapped into something, and it's about my hubby and my partner, and it's real simple, and it's entitled "You Make Me Wanna." And I've got the part with the slap your mama, because there really is a hot sauce called slap your mama. Okay, I don't know if you know that one. Slap your mama. It's called Slap Your Mama Hot Sauce. I should have gotten it over here so I could show it to you. Anyway, so it's entitled You Make Me Wanna. You make me wanna, why? Slap your mama spice. You make me wanna sprinkle you over my eggs, lick you off my plate, scatter you off my right shoulder. You make me better than I am, new, fresh, so fresh and clean. You make me want to climb to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge, not like King Kong, but like Beyonce, swinging from her weed. You make me want to comb my kitchen and burn the tips of my ears, straighten my naps, jump the broom. I love you. And Leash, I love you for letting me be a part of this. And I'm really just so grateful. And I hope that this is enough for us to maybe do more often, online.
Oh, Denise, thanks so much. You have been absolutely gorgeous, and thank you for your time. I know that I appreciate it, and the audience appreciates it, and that set was just wonderful. Truly. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And thank you for Colin as well, putting this up and putting up with me.
Strong and a lot of fun too.
Thank you.
So that just about wraps it up for another Poetryspective here at home from one of my various bookshelves. I'd like to say a special thank you to our features, Caroline J. Corr and Denise Chapman. You were both wonderful. And of course to our open section, which was very fine indeed. And an extra special thank you to Colin Clark for all of his help putting this stream together. I really appreciate it very much. Now, in these hard times, it's easy to panic and it's easy to become negative. So I urge all of you to remain positive, to share your art, to be kind to each other, even if it's only in little ways, because art and love and beauty is what sustains us and gives us hope, and we need all the hope we can get in these uncertain times. Stay safe and be well. Watch this space for the next Poetryspective details. This is Lish, signing off. See you on the flip side.